It also mentions in some cases Charles Hill book, International Business or Global Business, depending on the edition, because there are a lot of them. I think they have more than 100 copies in the library. So it's an easy source to add some additional view. Okay? And then make sure that you read the readings in the reading package and directly from the workshop. The question can be very specific. The question can ask you discuss his and so on. Or discuss using his and so. In this exam, there is a lot of requests to show knowledge of specific authors, key authors. So, as I said, there are two readings, two authors which are key for the course. One is Peter Dicken, the second one is Stiglitz. In this one, there are no readings for Stiglitz, basically, but in general, most of them are. So that's the structure, and you have that the same thing lecture by lecture. So lecture 2, it is actually about whether globalization is beneficial or not. So that's the relation of globalization and sustainable development. And it can be presented in many ways, like the ones, some of those questions are exactly the same for yesterday. Always when they say analyze policy recommendations or provide pathway for the future or the way forward, it's about mentioning the problems and providing some of the solutions that they are mentioned. And then if you are doing this topic for the essay, then you need to make sure that you get some of the readings and Stiglitz. This is a topic. There are chapters in winners and losers in Dicken. In the 2007 and 2005 edition, there are 2 chapters. In the last one, there is only one, which he condensed, but it's a long one. There is usually a section with analysis. And then Stiglitz provides recommendation on how to make globalization more sustainable. So you can have it either in globalization and its contents, in the first chapter and the afterword, or the whole making globalization work is all about that. If you look at the last chapter introduction, it provides 60 general ideas of his last book, which is about inequality. Also, there are more or less the same ideas. Okay, so in that reading, also there is a reading which is what now, in which in the workshop we discussed how the author uses the views of all thinkers, Marx and Darwin, to support arguments about whether globalization is beneficial or not. Well, last year I asked exactly the same question that was in the workshop reading, and I will say that most of the people were unable to answer the question, showing me clearly that you were studying with templates and hadn't bothered to do the reading. Well, there will be a lot of questions like that. So I will be testing that you are actually reading this, not just a summary that somebody else did. So, and in this question, if you tell me, for instance, that Marx studied or analyzed globalization, well, that shows me that you didn't read it. Because obviously Marx was there long before people started to discuss globalization. So, so what the reader explains very clearly is that we can use those ideas from those thinkers which are fundamental thinkers in in modern civilization and use their concepts and their theories to shed a light of what is happening now. That's the whole idea. We don't need to be constantly reinventing the wheel. We can use some of those critical thinkings to understand what's happening. And that's why that. So, and I can tell you, this year the question will be also similar. There will be a specific address to us, the point of view of some of them, and more. Let's see. The lecture about Bretton Woods is a lecture in which it's relatively easy. It says it will be about the discussion of fact, weakness and strengths of each institution. In the lecture, there are mentioned the main criticisms in the lecture slides. So things like anarchia, just to make sure, they were already mentioned for you to address in your essay, but just to make sure, be very clear in the IMF, you know Washington consensus, conditionalities, and moral hazard. Those are like key content. There are more things that you will get from the lecture. But basically, if you don't show that you know what those three things are, that will discount you. Okay? Okay, this is a question. If you are doing this question, is one in which, in the last editions of Dickens' cover, in the last chapter, there's a couple of sections in that. But in previous editions, there was nothing about supranational institutions. So you really need to get Stiglitz for this one. Okay, because all Stiglitz readings are about supranational organizations. But I'm telling you in particular what chapters. Chapter 1, the promise of global institutions. 2, broken promise, which is obviously analyzing the failures. 8, about the IMF. And 9, the way ahead, which is also our problem solution. And then remember that Stiglitz has a focus on the IMF, the World Bank. You have 2 readings in your packages, pros and cons. For the lecture, for the exam, that's what we'll be testing, basically. And also there is one on PIT, the geography of power, which is more critical. So basically, that's the list of readings that you need to do. For this one, I will mention targets. There is also